Hey everyone, this is the new digital SAT that's going to start being administered in 2024. This is Math Section 2, Module Number 1. Now, there are a lot of changes that have come with the SAT. So this test obviously is going to be administered on a computer or a tablet. You're going to have to take a device and do it at a school. It's going to be proctored. So no, you do not get to sit home and take the test. You do have to go to a school and take this thing. All right, so some of the differences of this test compared to the 2016 version of the SAT. First of all, I want to point out that the questions are multiple choice and fill in the blank mixed in together. And also, for the fill in the blank type questions, there are some differences. So now, for the student produced responses, you can actually have more than 4 digits, whereas previously you're limited down to 4 digits. Now you can have actually more. Again, there's sometimes more than one correct answer. You can have up to 5 characters for a positive answer. You can also have a negative answer. Before, you could not have a negative answer. Mixed numbers still have to be converted into an improper fraction or its decimal equivalent. And again, never include symbols such as percent sign, comma, or dollar signs in your answers. Again, that's a change from the previous type of student-produced responses that we have seen. So again, this is the new 2024 digital SAT. I do want to point out one of the huge differences is that this is a computer adaptive test, which means that you will not be taking the same test as the person next to you. The first few questions will start out being the same, but later on, they will give you questions depending on what you answered right and what you answered wrong. So you'll get a different set of questions. It's a good idea if you do these questions first before you listen to the explanations, or else it's not going to be very helpful. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a chance to pause and look at the screen, look at the question, and try to do it on your own before you look at the answers. Section 2 Math, Module Number 1. This is question number 1. Go ahead and pause and try to work it out on your own. All right, so let's go through this. What is 10% of 470? This is pretty straightforward. Again, every question on this test you can use a calculator for. So go ahead and use your calculator, but best way to do this is we're gonna go 0.10 times 470. You can get B, 47. So that's pretty straightforward. Question number 2. Go ahead and pause it, take a look, and try to solve. You're not actually solving for x. So this is just 4x is equal to 18 minus 6. Subtract 6 from there. 4x is equal to 12. Pretty straightforward. No problems there. Question number 3. Go ahead and pause the video, look at it, and try to solve. They're going to spend a total of $75 max. And that's going to be a $25 service fee plus $10 per hour. So we get 10 times 8, or in this case, they're using T. And if you look at the choices, it's going to be D. Question number 4. Go ahead and pause the video, look at this, and try to solve it first. For which value of x is g of x equal 25? So 25 is equal to x squared plus 9. Subtract 9 from both sides. 16 equals x squared. So x can actually be plus or minus 4. Answer's A. Question number 5. Take a look at this and pause the video. So what's the probability of rolling a 2? Well, 2 is only going to appear one time. So it's 1 out of the 14 sides, so it's 1 over 14, A. Question number 6. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this on your own. So 42 posters is per minute, and we want to know how many per hour. So it's going to be 42 times, well, 1 hour has 60 minutes. So we can write it like that, make it formal. But basically 42 times 60, that's going to get you to 2520. And that's your answer. Question number 7. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this. So this one's really straightforward. What you're going to do is go ahead and just plug the 4 right in there. So 7 times 4 plus 2, that's going to get you 28 plus 2, which is 30. Nice and straightforward. Question number 8. Go ahead and pause and solve the problem. The assignment is worth a total of 70 points. So you can have 70 points is equal to, you got the 1 point and 3 point type questions. X is the number of 1 point questions, so it's going to be 1x plus y is the 3 point questions, 3 times y. Let's look at the choices here. It's going to be D. Question number 9. Go ahead and pause the video. Solve the question. We don't know which way these are oriented, but you want to make sure you line them up. L, M, N. I'm going to do it that way. So then P, Q, R has to be like this. Now again, no matter what happens, you got to make sure that they correspond and you make sure that the angles match up. It says L and M correspond to P and Q. So L and M, L matches with P, M is with Q, so that's the right way. Angle M has measure of 53 degrees. So this has got a 53 degree measure here. What is measure of angle Q? So we're looking at this angle. Now I'm going to point out they cannot ask you about angles L or N or P or R because we don't have any values for that. So the only answer it could be is 53 as well, because Q and M are going to be similar angles. Question number 10. Go ahead and pause the video and try this question on your own. Usually for a system of equations, on the previous SAT, the 2016 version, you usually want to use the add, subtract, and eliminate, but in this case, substitution is the best thing to do. We're going to take this negative 3x and plug that right in there. So you have 4x minus 3x is equal to 15, and that just gets you x is equal to 15. Very, very straightforward. C. Question number 11. Go ahead and pause the video. Try to solve this on your own. Okay, first thing to note is we have a downward slope. So just look at these answer choices. You're going to get rid of C and D because those have a positive slope. So it's either A or B. And let's look at the y-intercept. The y-intercept is somewhere up there. So it's not going to be a negative 10.1. It's got to be B. Question number 12. Go ahead and pause the video. Take a look at this. For how many values of x does f of x equal 0? F of x means the y value. Not as complicated as it sounds. So looking at it, we have a y of 0 there, a y of 0 there, and another y of 0 there. So it's going to intersect the x-axis 3 different times. C. Question 13. Go ahead and pause the video and work it out. So total of $71 was spent. And that's going to consist of party hats and cupcakes. Now, the cupcakes are going to cost $1, and the party hats are $3. So that's 71 equals 3H plus 1C. 10 packages of party hats are purchased. So we got 3 times 10 plus C is equal to 71. So 71 equals 30 plus C. 41 equals C. That is your answer. Question 14. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this. There are 2 ways you can do this. First way is to factor this, and this is what you learned a long time ago, and we're going to go ahead and set it like this, and we know there's a Z here and Z here. Now what we need is 2 numbers here that multiply out to be negative 24 and add to be a positive 10. Now, sometimes it's hard to see this stuff, so this is more of a guess and check method, but if you do this properly, you'll figure out that put a plus 12 and a minus 2, and those are going to multiply out to give you negative 24, but also add it to be a plus 10. So what that tells you is that the 2 solutions are going to be negative 12, comma, and 2. So these are the possible solutions. Now, another way to do this surefire method, it's a quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You don't have to go through the whole factoring thing, so it's going to be negative 10 minus 4 all over 2. So that's going to give you negative. And that's going to be negative 10. So you've got two possible answers, 4 over 2 or negative 24 over 2. The 4 over 2, that's going to give you 2. The 24 over 2, negative 12. So those are your two answers. Question 15. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this on your own. So what should you do? It's actually going to be 300,000. It's going to double every 3 hours. And how many times is it going to double? Well, it's going to happen 5 times. So go ahead and put that into your calculator. And that's going to give you 9,600,000. Question 16. Go ahead and pause the video. Try to solve this on your own. When they're asking you to factor this, there are a huge number of ways they could factor this. I mean, they could have pulled out a 2 out of here from both terms. So we don't really know what they want. So this is one of those cases where you actually have to take a look at the answer choices and figure out what it is that they want. So we're going to go through each choice to see if it works. For example, choice A, that's going to get you to 12. And we know that's going to get you x to the 8. And that's going to give you y squared. That obviously doesn't match, so it's not A. If you go through all the choices, it's going to be choice C. And if you go through and just check that, that's going to be 6. The exponents add up to x squared and x to the 6, so it's x to the 8. Y squared, and then you got a plus, and you got 2 times 6, which is 12, and then x squared, and then a y squared. So that works out. Question 17. Go ahead and pause the video, read the question, solve it. So let's take a look at what these numbers mean here. The 3934, that's the total number of trees, right? It says that right there. So we're measuring how many trees there are. You got a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. So the 35 is the residential area, the 2 represents the park. And again, since we're counting up the number of trees, the x and y's have to represent the number of trees in these areas. So the answer is going to be A. Question number 18. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this. All right, so for a problem like this, there are actually a couple ways you can approach this. One way I'm going to show you is this. We've got 40y plus 60x is equal to, we're going to take the 40 and multiply that by 60, and that's going to give you 2400. All right, so you could actually reduce this down, and that's going to give you 4y plus 6x equals 240. And depending on what you want to do, you can reduce this down even more. I could get down to 2y plus 3x equals 120. Now, you'll notice that none of the choices are like this, but there is an answer choice that is a multiple of this. Now, I'm going to show you a different way to do this. It's a little bit more complicated, but probably your safest bet. So the best way to look at this is we're going to put this in the y equals mx plus b format. And we know that the y-intercept is going to be 40. Okay. Look at the slope, the rise over run. So it goes down by what? It goes down by 40, and the run is 60. So that's the slope. So y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 40. Now, what you can do is go through all 4 choices and check which one gives you the same result. Okay, we want to match up with this right there. So choice A doesn't work. Choice C doesn't work. Let's look at choice B. We're going to get 12y equals negative 8x plus 480. And we're going to divide everything by 12. And yeah, that's going to match. Okay, so the right answer is B. Couple ways you can do this, guys. Question 19. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this. So this is your classic area of a circle, nothing major. Area is pi r squared. So you've got one circle that has a radius of 3n, and you got another one that has a radius of 129n, much larger. The area of circle B, how many times? Now, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be, no matter what, 129 divided by 3. Okay, that is just not going to be the right answer ever. So 129 divided by 3 is 43. That is guaranteed not to be the answer, because area is two-dimensional. It is not just one dimension. All right, so let's go ahead and calculate out the area. So for this circle here, the small one, you got pi times 3n squared. Now you have to put the whole 3n in there. I don't know why a lot of people leave that out. So it's pi 9n squared. This other one is going to be pi times 129n squared. So this is when you bust out your calculator and you figure out that 129 squared is going to be 16,641 n squared. So you got 9, 16, 641. We're going to compare these two numbers, and that's going to give you 1849. D. Question 20. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this on your own. There are 57 data values in this data set. Now we're talking about this. There's going to be 57 values in here. What is the maximum data value in the data set? Well, data values range from 6 all the way up to 14. So the largest number you'll ever see is 14. That's it. That's all there is to it. Question 21. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this. So if you're not familiar with this, what happens is this is the classic x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared, where the center of the circle is h comma k, and r represents the radius of the circle. So you probably remember doing something like this. We want to figure out what the radius is. That's the only thing that's missing. They tell you that the center of the circle is at 2, 9. So we got, let me just graph this out. You got 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 14. Okay, so that's 4, that's 14. This thing from there to there, that's a total of 10. And the radius, therefore, is going to be half that. So 10 divided by 2, it's going to give you 5. The radius is 5. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, if you feel that this video was useful, please like and subscribe. And also share this video with your friends who are studying so hard for the SAT.